Last time you briefly mentioned that you had just come back from deployment.
Yep.
How's it been going since you've been back?
Well, I think at this point it's been okay. At first, it was a little hard getting used to doing normal things again. Wasn't used to a lot of things, different environment that I was used to living in. You get used to doing the same thing for 6 months, literally the same thing,
Yeah.
and it gets like ingrained into your everyday memory and stuff. So it's kind of hard coming back and getting used to doing the things I used to do before, but I think now I'm okay.
You mentioned that some of the things when you came back were hard. Like, what's an example of something that was hard for you?
So, coming back, I hadn't lived in my house very long before I left. So, getting used to being in a new environment that my wife had already been in was a little difficult. It took some time for that place to really feel like it was my home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's hard to like come back after being on a ship for 6 months and then have it feel like it's not your home.
Yeah.
So, have you been able to do things to adjust and make it feel like home for you?
Yeah, I think honestly it just took a little time. Coming back, I was able to get used to things, put some things up, like pictures, decorations, things like that. Set some of my own stuff up. It's definitely helped make it feel a little homier.
Well, that's good. I mean, you want to feel at home and a place where you live every day. What about like going back to work? How was that transition?
Going back to work, it was it, it was still an adjustment, not as big as one. Just 'cause I'm used to doing what I do now at work. It just was doing it in kind of a different environment. So that one wasn't too much of an adjustment, but it was still a little weird uh, having to deal with some of the things I didn't have to on the ship, like not being able to fix all the problems ourselves. The A lot of times, civilian contractors do a lot of the fixes and stuff that we were able to do on the ship right there and then. So that's a little frustrating, but less of an adjustment on the work part.
That's good. Do you have any like highlights from the deployment?
I mean, I think the biggest highlight was just traveling, getting to go to different places. We went to Hawaii, we went to India,
Oh,
we
wow.
went to the Philippines, we went to Qatar. It was a lot of different places that I would probably never go to without being in the military. So it was cool getting to see a bunch of different cultures, getting to taste a bunch of different food, things like that.
That's awesome. I mean, I've never been to like any of those places, so that's very cool. What about any? Were there any like specific challenges, or like what was the most challenging thing on the deployment?
I think the most challenging thing for everyone was just kind of that it was it was like 6 months of uncertainty because a lot of the time the plans that we made would get changed and we wouldn't know about it until sometimes like an hour before we were supposed to do something. I remember quite specifically we were going to do an exercise in the United Arab Emirates, and everyone was all packed, ready to go. and literally an hour before we were gonna get on the vehicles that took us off the ship, it was canceled. So
Oh my gosh.
no one wanted to go in the first place. So when we got the word it was canceled, everyone was celebrating. But it was a lot of that. Every single operation we were supposed to do got canceled, and we didn't hear about it until right before, it was difficult.
Which makes it hard to adjust and settle in when your plans are constantly changing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you talking to me about your deployment, and we can continue this conversation next time.